Don't need to hide. You a smooth operator. Are those something vegan?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
They're called barbecue flavored protein chips.
Oh shit! Let me try some of that. Let me get some vegan up in this.
Lentils, sunflower oil, molasses.
It has the aftertaste of shit, but the beginning tastes good. Is that just a like underlying thing of vegan? Like at the beginning it tastes good. Nah.
Well, it reminds me of a pork rind.
It reminds me of a tasty wafer from church.
A little bit of waferness, yep.
Like if you go to a Spanish church, they got some flavor on it. Mm-hmm. They had some sazon in the wafer. Amen.
I like it.
Thompson.
Yes.
Is that your name?
Yes.
Okay, I'm Phraydoe Peans. That's what I go by.
Hello.
This is a Fresh Produce Podcast.
We're here again.
Today, we're talking about another Florida industry. This is about...
I don't have any porn.
Well, we got to be careful on this one.
Sorry. What do you mean? We have to be careful on this one.
Because it's about porn and we're on YouTube.
We have to be careful on this one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we can talk, but we have to just make sure that there's no titties and ass. Because there's a lot of amateur porn in this episode. It's about Florida porn. This is a top industry. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's big down here, right?
It's big.
Ayo, it's big down here.
I didn't know it was that big. I remember.
I didn't know it was that big. This episode is going to be full of them.
I mean, you hear like hints of it. It's mostly in South Florida. I think Tampa has a little bit of it. But like,
is that
Florida's a porn capital? I knew there was porn here, but goddamn.
Yeah. There's a lot.
It goes down.
They go down.
It's crazy.
They go down.
It makes me feel like Florida is like...
Is it the same counties that have the pill problem?
Sure.
Wow.
Sure.
What do we think? What do you think about that?
So you're saying all these deadly sins all hang out together?
Grease the wheel.
You need drugs, sex, debauchery, lust.
It's just a pool. That's just a warm swimming pool.
They got good food too.
Delicious. You know what I mean? Hey man, I like it. I like the place. It's fun.
Do you think since you're in video production, have you ever thought of being in the porn industry? You ever thought about it? Yeah. I was an audio engineer. I know you went to school for video, right?
The thought crossed my mind more than one time.
Yeah,
especially early on.
I looked on monster.com.
Hold the camera. What is it? Monster Jobs?
Well, just
no. It'd be on like Craigslist or there was one called Mandy.com, which was like a production centric, production leaning kind of like job. It wasn't just monster jobs or whatever. It was just people who were in production. So it was like sound guys and grips and, video guys and editors or whatever. But I remember in there were a few jobs where there was like adult jobs or different things where people just wanted you to hold a camera for something.
But you never did anything?
I never followed through. I answered a couple calls and I picked up the phone a couple times on some like weird, like one guy was like, you would go and shoot everything and pay the talent, but then we would get a cut and right. I had that guy on the phone.
That sounds like one of those guys. That was a good term.
And then there was another one. It was a girl and she called me back and it was like, she was telling me the price. She thought I was trying to like solicit or whatever, but I guess I answered the call to hold a camera. I think she was just hustling, getting ready to rob somebody. Shit. I don't know. It was either escort or like robbery, where she just got it all mixed up, and I just hung up the phone. So there were a couple of times where I was close, but I never. Because hey, money's money, Yeah. Just all I gotta do is hold the camera. It's whatever, You gotta eat, but. I never did all the way.
I definitely searched around Monster and Craigslist. I think it's such a long time ago. I got my audio engineer degree in 2003, so this was like years ago. Mm-hmm. But I was definitely looking for some jobs. I did stumble on to sort of a sex job. I worked for a pimp, and I ended up like moving out to Las Vegas for a few years, and that was the first time I really got connected to, I guess, the so-called sex industry. And there's a lot of similarities to like the directors and the casting agents and the managers in the porn world.
To the people that you cross paths with.
That I think are like pimps.
Rap, sex world.
Yeah, well, Revenue, the guy I worked for in Las Vegas, and RIP to him, he passed away. But Revenue was his hobby or his aspiration was to be a rapper. But he never, I would say he spent a lot of money and he got a lot of features and stuff, but I don't think he was a successful rapper by any means as far as really getting money. He got way more money off the pimp shit. And his whole thing was that he got so closely connected with the 3 girls that worked for him that he wanted to make enough money in another industry to take care of everybody because they became like a family. And
like that movie Hustle and Flow.
It's a lot like that, only on a way richer, more the dichotomy of the relationships is similar, but there wasn't no babies and there wasn't, the antagonist wasn't the hood and survival. It was more like low key. Yeah, it was more like his biggest thing was that we're living such a good life. But at the same time, you guys got to go out and do this with the randoms and shit. So not to say, because I don't think I could ever be in that situation. I went out there with my girlfriend at the time, and I kind of questioned in my head, like, could I turn my girlfriend out to go work for money? Because that's what Rev did. They became friends, and then he turned them out, and they worked for money. I don't know if I could ever do that. But that might have just been the bitch quality. I think it's just in you, or maybe it's the right type of girl also, because I noticed his girls were a little different than my girlfriend as far as like wanting to do the work, and that's just the cards that they were dealt. And Rev kind of got turned out by a girl in a sense. His bottom chick that was with him for the longest time, JoJo, she's the one that put him onto the pimp game, right? Because he was in the military, got out the military. He used to date her. When he got out the military, he came back to the same girl, but she wasn't the same girl. She was working for a pimp. She wanted to leave the pimp. Fast forward the whole thing. She turned him on. This guy became successful to the game. So I think it's the cards you're dealt, the people you meet, that you fall into these situations.
Kind of like anything else.
Yeah. And I think, but there is the main underlining theme that I found out through doing the research about porn stars in Miami and the underground culture and it's similar to the pimp world, is that these girls want a better life, money, they want fame, they want, just sexy, kind of flashy environment. And that's what these people produce for them. You know what I mean? I think that's what a lot of these casting directors and managers sell to the girls. Like, come get money, live in Miami, because that's mostly where a lot of this industry takes place, right? It's in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and it's its own culture, bro. If you were in porn, would you be open to your kids, talking to your kids, and vice versa?
I guess at some point I'd have to be, right? If I'm being realistic. If I want my kids around, I would have to say something. You got to explain what's happening.
That's the better. What about if you're a parent and your kid gets into porn?
I can't imagine anybody would want that for their child, but is it worse to not speak to your child ever again or disown them because of a choice that they're making that isn't illegal and is the choice that they want to make? Like I said, I don't think anybody wants that for their kid.
Yeah.
But I think I'd rather still have a conversation and open dialogue with my child, even if he decided to do that. But I wouldn't want that. I don't want that for anybody's kid.
Is that the only job in
the world? And that puts
world?
Such a negative connotation on it, which I hesitate to do too, because it's just sex. It's just a naked body. It's almost odd that it's such a big deal.
Is it the only job? Is it the only job that you got to deal with that stigma, like the sex work industry? Whether you're a prostitute, a porn star, whatever you deal, even stripper, you're dealing sex. Even if you sell dildos or DVDs, bro, you see what I'm saying? Like you deal in that.
At least in this country, it's different in other countries. Obviously, we're talking about, and we're talking about specifically Florida. Do I think so? I know so. As far as around the world,
so it's just completely cool everywhere else.
A lot more than it is here. My mother worked in a bank where the prostitute would come in and put her shit into the bank, and that was when she was a kid.
But you think the prostitute?
My mom was,
but
in her 20s.
But what I'm saying, morality. You think the prostitute's mother's like, okay, cool, and where was it? Germany, right?
Germany, yeah. It would have to be just That's through cool. It being legal.
You don't think she would want her to do other shit?
Probably, but I'm saying like it may not be totally fine with the mother. You know, I'm sure there's some places in the world where it's totally fine and even maybe looked as a good thing that you're a prostitute somewhere in the world. I don't know. Probably not. But if we're talking about a scale of this kind of like Southern Puritan place where it's super religious and people are like, yo, it's disgusting that you guys are even cursing, but you're also selling your body, Florida or Germany in the 80s into now where it's she just works hard for her money.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's what take Florida out for a second. Okay. Just period. Is it the only job in the world that always comes with that stigma? Even though it might be accepted in other places a little more, it still comes with you're a sex worker. Mm-hmm. It's like a gangster. Some people think it's romantic to be a gangster, but you're still a gangster, bro. Okay, that's your job title. Mm-hmm. I guess those are the only two jobs, right? That maybe sex and criminal activity.
Maybe
because is that even a job? But
like pick up shit for a living.
Fuck criminal activity because technically that's not a job, even though that puts food on the table. What other work do you have to deal with that type of stigma? No. Like where you're just like, I guess like maybe a CIA officer.
If you're an assassin.
Yeah, an assassin, right?
Kill people for a living. You obviously don't want to like.
I don't think there's any other jobs that have to deal with that. I'm maybe like a fucking sex worker. What else? Everything else that's legal, you can kind of this is what even if I'm a trash guy, fuck it, I'm a trash guy.
Yeah.
Or
what about a lawyer though, like a defense lawyer?
You're proud to tell people you're a defense lawyer.
What if you defend the
pieces of shit?
Yeah, the terrible people of the world where you have to like.
I don't think it's the same as being a sex worker.
Where you have to defend like the people who've done horrible shit and they're rich. And you're in there talking like, I can't believe we're even having this conversation. Meanwhile, this person like did terrible shit because they're rich or whatever.
Yeah, but that's just like art. It's it's all about. People can look at it a different way. Some people are going to respect that. Some people are not. Across the line, even though you might respect a sex worker in Germany, you're still going to be like, you're a sex worker. You don't think you could have done anything better with your life?
A little more or less, however you want to look at it, than here in America. But it's
only
still
job
lessened,
though.
Probably, yeah.
And that has to say something about society because it is a job. It's legal, but we still have this psychological tick with it across the board. Yes, they're way more liberal in France. The titties are out, the beaches and shit. I get it, but it's still like, yo, you're a prostitute or a porn star. You still have this.
It's because of religion, right?
I don't know what it is. Because even if you're super liberal, or you're an atheist.
Yeah, me. Like I wouldn't want my kid to do it.
Right. There's just something about it. And why? What is it? I can't even answer it but it is really the truth. It's
somewhere, somehow,
it's not sanctified.
Happens, there's some fucking dude beating off to one of my children in a way. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And I don't like that shit. That's why. I don't know. It has less to do with like it being naked time and all of that, but more like gratification of some dude. I'm not even thinking about women. I'll be sexist or whatever right now. It's like some you know what I mean?
Right.
Some like, and then that guy is walking around looking at other girl, just some and then those are the people that look at that shit, and including people that are totally fine that look at that shit. But I'm thinking about the dude.
Yeah.
That's the part that just makes, if I'm being honest, right? That's the part that makes me go, I don't want that.
Yeah. I don't know why. It's like when we were talking about breastfeeding. Your titty's out. It makes me feel awkward. It's your titty. Do what you got to do. But it makes me feel a little awkward. And this like when I was around the girls in Vegas.
So are we wrong?
And there is no right or wrong with it. It's just a question that I came up with while I was doing the research, and I'm like, wow, this is the only legal job you could have that just comes with a stigma that no matter what, people are going to judge you. You're going to have to talk about it in a certain way where you're going to, either way you're going to look at it, you're going to kind of be, I guess, looked at negatively, you know?
Even in the future? Like, I don't. When we're all in space,
sex. They say that the sex industry has been around. It's the oldest
industry.
Yeah, selling vaginas or slanging a penis. You know,
it was because it was the
because people always want to fuck. I guess whenever something monetarily was invented and you could trade something monetarily, bam, industry was born.
How was it when people finally stopped just taking it? Because, you know, I assume at a certain point people were just taking that shit.
Yeah. Like rape?
Yeah, like rape. Bro.
Well, I don't think it was like rape back then.
That's what I mean. Like, it was just like happening.
Right.
This is what happens. And then at a certain point, I wonder how that started. Where there was like a choice in the matter.
Right. Well, I think whenever societies became
organized. Or is that how it
organized,
started? Where there was a choice and then somebody was like, nah, fuck all that.
You think it started with the choice first?
Maybe like locally too. Like because it's mostly about outside cultures coming in and like taking over shit, right?
You always see the caveman perspective where they would just knock the bitch over the head, bring her back to the cave and lay her down. And now you're my wife, bitch. I mean, do dogs choose each other? Have you ever seen two ducks have sex? It's aggressive as fuck, yo. The duck is trying to put her head underwater. I'm like, yo, bro, you gotta be.
Oh, like in the water?
They get crazy. Ducks and cats. Cats literally try to murder each other. Yeah.
The women murder the men, or the men?
Yeah, the woman after is trying to beat the shit out of the dude.
Because I wonder why. Maybe because he's trying to take it.
Maybe.
Oh my God. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a weird conversation.
Yo, uncomfortableness has arrived. That's what I was getting at. This is going to be an uncomfortable episode, but at the same time, entertaining. Kimberly, break the facts down.
Hello, boys. I hoped you jerked off today because this show is full of sex. I gotta say, sex is the most awkward things you do as humans. I mean, all that gyration for pleasure and you might end up with a child. I think I will pass of that human quality if I ever get a real body. I don't want anything stabbing my vagina. Men are brittle. And by the way, penises look weird. Let's fuck shit up, brothers. This is from MiamiNewTimes.com. Florida may only be the fourth most populous state, but aside from California, we've supplied the pornography industry with their second biggest supply of hardcore video vixens.
Yo, we produce them out here.
More porn stars were born in Florida than any other state but California.
Nice.
And it shouldn't come as much of a surprise that the vast majority of those Sunshine State mattress actresses come from right here in South Florida.
Mattress actress.
Writer John Millward analyzed over 10,000 profiles on Internet Adult Film Database, the IMDb of porn, to paint a picture of exactly who it is that is offering themselves up for our wanking pleasure. He analyzed things like measurement, hair color, age, names, and, of course, birthplace. A total of 939 female porn stars claim California as their birthplace. While it's not very close, Florida came in second with 216.
Damn, California.
As you can see, South Florida has the highest concentration of native porn stars of anywhere outside of California. Of course, it's impossible to verify whether the hometowns those girls are repping are accurate. I can imagine a lot of women, even when specifically asked where they grew up, would prefer to declare that they are from California because that's where they're now based, than hint at where their family and friends probably still live, he writes. Or maybe the convenience of being on Porn Valley's doorstep is enough of an incentive to explain why the vast majority of performers are true Cali girls. So the rankings do make sense. While the vast majority of American porn is filmed in Cali, South Florida has its own amateur production scene. We mean, a girl can just be minding her own business, walking down the streets, when she gets picked up and agree to have sex with a stranger in the back of the bang bus and whatnot. Sometimes they end up getting stuffed in the back of a Fort Lauderdale pizza parlor. In other findings, Nikki is the most popular first name for a porn actress. Only just under a third are blonde, and 70.5% are Caucasian. The average weight is 117 pounds, 48 pounds less than the national average.
That's a little sick.
And, despite stereotypes, the average porn star is packing a relatively modest 34B bra size.
You know, that's the only thing that weirded me out about the porn shit lately, or probably like within the last 10 to 15 years. It's the little ass bitches that they look younger and younger and younger. Like, that's not attractive. Should we call them bitches still? Hey. Well, yeah, because we're talking about porn.
Yeah, but they're not bad people.
No, they're not. But it's that's just like porn.
Let's call them women.
Women. All right. What's going on with like the teeny women? It's like it's a very popular term right now, and like
petite or whatever.
Yeah, like what is that like?
You think maybe if you're like in your
20s, I could see how that could be attractive. But once you hit a certain threshold, you looking at these little girls as attractive is a little sick.
Yeah, you know? For sure.
It's more than a little sick. It's a lot sick.
It's a little odd. It's a little odd for sure. I've always had a weird kind of feeling about Grande, the way she kind of plays up her little doll thing that she has.
Absolutely.
It's her style, and she's a beautiful girl or whatever, but it's weird when she's like super sexualized and stuff. Kind of makes me feel uncomfortable.
Remember Britney Spears?
But it's not for me. Britney Spears is another one. But back then I was a kid to where it was like, okay. It never really was my thing, Britney Spears, but I could see where the schoolgirl thing was, whatever. But I was more in the school age, like you're saying. Now I'm a grown up, pushing 40, and like this one's bouncing on like a thing. But again, it's not for me, so I just turn it. I can just turn that, Same thing with this. There can be like petite girls getting mushed up in a pizza parlor or whatever, stuffed in a pizza parlor.
Mattress actresses. If she's 18, hey, she just looks 16. Is Britney Spears and Andrea Grande, are they the weed to porn's heroin?
The second one's name?
Andrea Grande.
Say it again.
Andrea Grande. Whatever. I don't know. I don't remember her name, but you get what I'm talking about. Is Britney Spears and Grande, are they the weed to porn's heroin? Are they the entry drug?
Like the low.
Are they the entry drug?
First of all, I don't subscribe to the theory that marijuana is an entry drug for anything. So I'll say that off as far as this little analogy goes. But I can see how you're saying like they're kind of like borderline whatever can be a light version of pornography or something to get somebody interested in pornography, looking at it and whatever, because I'd like to see that, but more of that or whatever.
Right. Well, it's something that society, well, really Hollywood, is seeding in our brains, and a lot of these people
talking about like at a young age.
Even older men, maybe they like that music, and then they're like, "Oh shit!" And now I like these girls and shit like that. It's
you're talking about like
a catalyst,
pushing them toward.
It's a catalyst.
Yeah, but if you're gonna do something like that, be it like an illegal thing, like if you're me and I'm looking at a Grande video, and all of a sudden I discover feelings for 16-year-old schoolgirls or whatever, and I go driving around in neighborhoods.
I don't think you're going to discover it. I think it's something that's going to be
That's what I'm saying to you right now. Okay. So like them doing it, this the Grandes and the Spears of the world doing it, you can't call them the catalyst. You know what I mean? They're just doing them. They're doing their thing. If somebody's going to commit a crime toward a young person, they were going to do it anyway, whether Ariana Grande bounced her little whatever on top of a counter.
But it's not a crime to watch 18-year-old teen porn.
It's not. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that if they have that feeling to where they want to take it to another level.
Look at the thin line of morality. Like, I'm going to fuck this girl because she's legal, but I'm fucking her because, or I'm fantasizing about the porn because she looks younger.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
It is fucked up.
And the way we're skating by this 18-year-old shit.
What do you mean skating by? Because she's 18? Because that's the age?
Well, I think it should be more than that's the age of consent,
You
right?
said it should be
but
like-
if you look like you're 14, no, there should be a law.
Shouldn't play up the angle of teens.
Yeah, I think we're skating on a line here
Yeah.
because it's not just like, okay, well, we could be like, oh, it's not affecting the viewer because they're older and they're making their own choice on what they want to watch. Okay, granted. But what about all these casting directors that know, damn, this is such a popular thing. This is what I have to go after. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
There's such a big market for it, and sometimes the market is pedophiles, right?
And there's got to be more pedophiles than anything because I'm going to play these videos. That's like the number one search thing.
I agree that because it's such a shunned upon and like negatively viewed thing, pornography, that it's going to attract the worst of society, really, to come and like consume it, not necessarily like make it. I think a lot of times people are just exploiting a marketplace. They're like, yo, there's a lot of people trying to watch porn, let's make some porn, you know what I mean? But the consumers, I think a lot of the consumers are 35 to 55-year-old single dudes that are just in some hole somewhere lotioning up so they don't chafe themselves because they're masturbating for the 5th time that day, and they're putting in teeny bopper or whatever, and it's just
I feel like such a hypocrite because when I was younger, I fucking loved porn. Mm-hmm. I was a porn addict.
Why do you feel like a hypocrite?
Because
you're saying you don't like porn now?
I'm starting to understand and see some of this shit, and I'm starting to like. I'm not trying to be like ultra religious but I see how this sinful shit really turns people. Like, I would like to think that like everybody in the world maybe grows up like me, where they have their crazy sex addicts when they're younger in their 20s, and then they get with a woman they love, and then your sex drive maybe is not so crazy for other women, right? Like you want to do that with your partner, right? But I'm still attracted. Like you see how I'm elevating, and I'm attracted to an older looking woman, and that's what's turning me on now. And even if I was to search for porn now, I would search for something that isn't that criteria, right?
What would you enter?
I like bigger, thicker, not BBWs, but thicker, nice ass, legs. But she looks like a woman. Mm-hmm. That's what my taste as a 36-year-old man.
Yeah, but you can't. For one, I don't have a problem with pornography or the porn industry, or there being porn.
Your views hadn't changed as you've gotten older. You're not a little
as far as porn.
Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Where you can look at it differently. Like, damn, that's some crazy ass shit that maybe when I was younger I would have let pass as through a filter. Like, it's porn. But now,
for sure,
I kind of feel a little more fucked up about it.
For sure, but
the way you don't say bitch, maybe.
No, for sure. I see what you're saying, but just because you go away from that moment in your time doesn't mean there isn't another 21-year-old guy who wants to look at a teen porn or whatever.
I'm okay with that, but we're talking about the 40, 50-year-old dude
but that goes
is addicted. It's crazy.
Yeah, but that's his thing, man. That's not the porn's fault. That's not the girl's fault. That's 18 that's making that choice. You know what I mean? That's his thing that he has to deal with and he has to come to terms with. You can't take away everybody else's. What's the term? Don't I can't think of the term, but it's basically don't rain on my parade, bro. Don't make my thing your problem.
You know what I'm beginning to think?
Because I'm able to keep my shit under control and you can't, so I gotta like stop doing my thing. I don't think so. I don't think that's cool.
I think porn's a negative thing.
It can't be though. It's the ultimate form of expression.
I think sex is great.
It's the ultimate form of expression and exhibitionism and rebellion and just all like there's a lot of bad aspects of it. There's some really bad because it's such an extreme thing. There's a lot of with the drugs and the fake shit and the vapid shit and just like the people who maybe don't want to do it and sort of have to do all these, and there's a lot of bad things happening because of it. But I think it's still at its core. I think it's a beautiful thing.
I struggle with it more.
I don't want it for anybody in my family, and I still think it's like I'm happy that it exists.
Let's go to this part. What if we grew up in a world without porn, and the only way you discovered sex is by one-on-one sex with whatever partners? Like, would you be into crazier sexual shit as a younger man if you didn't watch porn?
Know about it unless the other person would know.
So is that better for society?
Why?
Because I think a lot of younger kids.
This is the problem with a lot of like the world is like assuming the things that you do in the bedroom affect the shit outside the bedroom.
This is the example. If you're young and you're watching all this crazy porn and you're seeing these girls do all this crazy shit, you're going to want to pressure your girlfriend as a young man to try to do those things. And I hear that more and more now.
If you want to pressure somebody, you're the type of person to pressure somebody. That's a whole different issue.
Well, maybe it's not pressure, but it's like, babe, I seen this crazy deep throating thing.
Yeah.
And you want to try it?
Give it a shot.
But if you didn't learn that for some videos, would sex be so crazy in society? I think pornography.
At this point, yeah.
It would be
this point, yeah.
I think it would be more we would be more.
Because there's a finite amount of things you can do to the human body for as far as pleasure. I don't
think fucking would exist. I think you'd be making love.
No,
you'd make crazy passionate love, and there would maybe be some rough passionate love, but you wouldn't just be fucking the fuck without porn.
We started out just fucking. What are you talking about?
No.
Cavemen were just fucking.
You think so?
Hell yeah. They were not like to you. What you're saying, he was knocking bitches out and bringing them back and fucking them. You're mine. They weren't like, hello.
So that's what
here's
sex
some
is supposed
fire.
to be.
It's not what it's supposed to be. You know, what is supposed to? What does that mean?
I just think pornography has influenced it to a point where it's mutated into something else. It used to be a human-on-human contact, and now it's exhibitionism. It's culture.
Evolved. I look at it as evolved. You're saying mutated. I say evolved.
Okay. I have to be honest. The more I did the research, because I haven't been watching porn in a while, I'm going to say it's something that, as I get older, I guess maybe it's just Peans. Maybe I'm losing a little bit of my sex drive.
No,
my libido.
I don't think
Phraydoe's, pedo's libido. You know.
I don't think. I don't. Well, it may or may not. I also look at porn less, if at all. You know what I mean? Because there's no need to when I don't have a need to necessarily. You know. But I used to a lot.
Yeah,
when I was single, I used to watch porn all the time. And yeah, it can be a negative thing for sure. You know, you can, to your point, you can make it, it'll put, and this is like stuff that's researched, it'll put expectations in your brain, especially the moment of climax or whatever. If you're artificially stimulating your brain with an image that isn't something that's, call it attainable. I don't know the word for you. So you got like this crazy woman doing these crazy things and you're like, wow, in that moment, if you do that enough, right? Then when you're with a regular schmegula, you know, call it that.
That's what I'm talking about.
No, it can, but that's on you as a person to like check that. Recognize that, check that.
You think we're all able to do that? Like, I don't think I think the majority of people are not able to do that.
Yo, if anybody can do it, it just takes the knowledge.
You're a special individual,
I'm not a special individual.
No, you are, bro.
There's an issue there when it calls somebody like me who is not. I'm inside my own head. I know who's like special, who's amazing, and all this other stuff. It's the simplest thing. It's the simplest thing.
Yeah, but I don't think the majority of people. I think it's easier to just go busting the online.
Of course it is. Who said it wasn't hard?
To go,
it wasn't a little difficult.
Mac to some chick.
Right.
That's a whole other level we got to talk about too.
That's their fault. It's their fault. There's a way to do it. It's even simple. It may not be easy, but it's simple.
Right.
It's like 3 steps, and you're good to go as far as reprogramming your mind away from that shit. But they don't want to do it because it's easier.
That's what makes you special, bro.
But they don't want to do it because it's easier.
That part about they don't want to do it, that's the hardest part to some people.
And how is that porn's fault? That's not porn's fault. It's not caffeine's fault. It's not alcohol's fault. It's not drugs' fault.
Okay, so cigarettes, that whole lawsuit with cigarettes was like, fuck it. No. Everybody should still be smoking cigarettes.
Let me take that back. Sorry. Alcoholism and those are real things. You know, I kind of overspoke on that. But we're talking about this specific.
Bro, sex addiction to porn. People get addicted. Some people be jerking off so much that they rather jerk off than have sex with a woman.
That's what I'm saying. It gets to that level, but you can reprogram yourself. 30 days tops.
It's like going, to rehab. People go to rehab for this shit,
30
bro.
30 days tops.
And I think it's because of the porn industry.
And you just stay out of your own way.
I hate to sound like an old fuck, bro.
Nah, man. I hear what you're saying, but like, there's too many benefits to it, man.
What are the benefits?
You can reconnect with your loved one if there was ever a problem there.
Okay, maybe.
You can.
I don't know if I want to watch porn with like if we're popping, then and that's what we do. But like to reconnect. But okay, go ahead.
You can.
Okay.
I mean, I haven't personally done it, but like I hear the argument for it. You know what I mean? You can get into, to your point, you can learn new techniques to bring somebody into something that may be frowned upon in your neck of the woods, but you like to do it. May it be
spicing up the drug. Okay, I could see that too.
Choking or role playing or nipple clamps or like toys or like dog. The other night we went to Fair Villa. Eugene Snowden was playing. You know what Fair Villa is?
Yeah, the sex store.
Eugene Snowden and the band was playing in the middle, and we were walking around raffling and like talking to people, and it was just like a fun evening just to go out there. And they had like little what do you call them? Not seminar, but like little.
I mean, I think that's a little different. It's part of the sex industry, but it's a little different. I agree. That would be like an interesting thing to do with your girlfriend. It's fun. It's entertaining.
Yeah, and then you go in, and then
I prefer doing something like that than going to a fucking watching a porn.
There's a whole porn section in there that has different pornography. Now, like, there's terrible shit that happens in a lot of these things because there's a lot of excess. There's a lot of like drugs that are involved in there. There's a lot of people not in full control of why they're doing what they're doing.
Little girls
that think they're big girls. Yeah, there's a problem with a lot of that. But I think at its core, I think it's a good thing. We should probably start playing. If we talk about this forever.
Let's see how much of a good thing this is, Thompson.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad stuff.
Right now, Miami has the top emerging porn market. California.
Shout out to Fusion for this little clip.
The multi-billion-dollar porn industry is in a revolution, and Miami is taking the lead.
The Miami porn scene.
Just braces on.
You think Miami's taking over because we're sick of seeing the blonde chick? And there's more Spanish bitches in Miami, Spanish women.
I don't know, man. They do whatever. It's a good party. Hedonistic. People love porn, bro. People love being naked and having sex.
More of an amateur scene.
California is these really big companies. Florida's all independent productions.
Where it's not just about sex.
They call it gonzo, right? It's like really...
It's about tech.
Low budge.
Whoever knows how the internet works is going to do way better than the people who make better porn.
Technology's changing everything from the way porn is consumed to the way it's produced.
Somebody with a camera makes the difference between prostitution and pornography. It's really difficult to tell the difference between the two.
And the market is flooded with free porn and new talent.
Less work for these models. They need income. What are they going to do?
I don't really do escorting.
That's a crazy point too. With all the free porn, you think it's got to be affecting the industry like it was affecting the music industry, right? With all the piracy and shit.
Yeah, of course, I definitely don't pay for porn.
I only deal with one person.
It's a lucrative market with unintended consequences.
It's probably the toughest part of my life, facing my family for my job.
And in Florida, there are no rules.
it's kind of Wild West-ish here.
It's pretty much an unregulated industry in Florida.
Was that what it is? Regulated everywhere else?
In South Beach.
So all the other states besides California and Florida?
I don't think it's all the other states. I think mostly California's got the super regulation.
Florida is so big in the porn industry because it's shaped like a wang.
It's shaped like a pee-pee. Oh, this is like American Bustle. Thank you.
I've always been intrigued by the audio production as far as the score in porn. Is the guy editing it or are they using like local producers that want to get on putting their porn? There's always like a crazy, like weird, odd beat under everything.
It's crazy how it's evolved. Remember, it used to be like all guitar.
Yeah, like
and
live
funky
instruments.
It was like funky.
Boom, 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 boom.
Now she sounds like hip hop and techno. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I guess every person is a little different depending on who's producing it.
My name is Veronica Rodriguez. I am a porn star and adult entertainer, model, and actress.
Oh, she's a founder.
A quarter of porn production.
You see how she had to throw the model and actress afterwards? Mm-hmm. A lot of these porn stars do that.
Why?
Because they don't just want to be a porn star.
Production in the U.S. comes from Florida.
Today I came to the XBiz because my website is launching.
We have lots of members.
Was that website or wet site?
I know you ain't talking about how people say shit.
No, I know, but that would be a good like wet site.
Oh gosh.
I have 2 months to find how to distribute my content right. Nice.
Oh, it's great.
So what
She's
is
doing
it
her thing.
rate?
This is the reason. This is a
credit
positive.
methods, billing.
No?
My website is supposed to launch the last week of
Entrepreneurship?
August. I want to advertise the launching of my site, and I need a lot of traffic.
She might not
No,
succeed
you're not grabbing my butt.
or whatever, but I think that's a positive. You don't think that's a positive?
I mean, yeah, she's doing something in her life. She could be doing anything else.
Maybe. See, because there's nothing wrong with sex, bro. This is the thing.
No. See, I agree. Sex is amazing. We're talking about the porn industry. We're talking about sex industry. Not sex. Sex is great. Just talking about the industry.
She's choosing to have sex with this person. You're putting the...
She's choosing to get paid to have sex with the person. Having sex with the person is completely fine. It's the payment and the intricacies and the lifestyle and the culture that brings everything. But the connection with the two humans, that's the most beautiful part. That's the most intriguing part. That's what we're all watching for.
Yeah, but maybe she just likes to connect with humans and she isn't mad that she can get a couple bucks for it too. It's like leaving money on the table for doing something you love.
I think when you add money...
Some people like shooting the basketball into a goal and making fucking points and dunking it. Some people like fucking.
Nah, it's not the same. It's not the same.
It may be.
It's not the same.
Maybe somebody's sport, instead of a 360 dunk, it's like gurgling balls.
You do not feel the same way.
How do you know?
If you were to see Kai do a 360 dunk and get paid to go to the NBA.
That's because that's my bias.
Well, that's everybody's bias. That's what we were talking about.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. There's nothing really wrong with sex.
There's nothing wrong with sex. That's right. There is something wrong when you create an industry. Something feels wrong when it's an industry.
If you're not getting paid, they're going to do it anyway. They're going to do it anyway. They might even film it anyway because people like filming that shit sometimes. To not get paid for it is leaving money on the table. It's just like shooting a basketball.
You should have been a pimp.
Shooting basketball.
You should have been a pimp.
What if people fought just to fight?
You sound like a pimp right now.
Bro, what if people fought just to fight?
That's the same argument.
There's motherfuckers who just love fighting. They just love punching people in the face. Now, what if people...
You might be right. Fighting is another one of those jobs that comes with that stigma.
People love like the MMA. People just love getting in there and like fighting people. They'll
But you
do it
wouldn't
if they
want
get,
your son to get his face
I wouldn't
piled
want-
in.
I don't
Yeah.
want my son being in the military.
That's the same.
either.
That's another job.
I don't want my son to go on missions in the military either. You know what I mean? But if he's gonna do it, I'd much rather have communications with him. I don't.
Would
want
you be a little prouder of him if he was a soldier than a
No.
porn star?
No.
Come on, deep down inside. He's out there, valor, shooting people.
Because the way society, because the way society is,
Colonel
because the way
Kai,
society is, and the way I've
instead
been
of
programmed,
long dick and bitches.
Yeah, yeah. Because of society and the way I've been programmed and all of that shit.
Yeah.
Like, essentially, there's no difference. Not difference. There, of course, there's a difference, but I'm saying like I don't want him doing any of that shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's absolutely a difference, obviously. Logistically, there's different things that are done in those.
This my rifle. This my gun. This for shooting. This for fun.
You know what I mean? So, but yeah, man, it's essentially. I know it's not because that's the way society has made it and the history has made it, but it's leaving shit on the table. Or have known, and I know girls that just like, and dudes that just like, especially dudes that just want to do that.
There's plenty of girls
I'm
that
gonna
are
get drunk
mad
with him.
loose.
I'm gonna go drunk fuck her. What if every time I got drunk in my 20s and fucked some random, I
You
put
got
it
paid
on
for it?
and I got paid $5,000 for it?
You would feel a little bad about it.
I would feel bad about it. Again, because of
Fucking
society.
got mad videos out there.
Again, because of the way society is. But it doesn't, there's no difference. There's no problem with it.
Yes, but let's go back to the society part, man. That's the uncomfortable part.
Well, no,
that's my biggest dilemma.
That's just making me try to accept the way things are and not trying to think of things in realistic terms.
But it's there. It's there.
It is there, but it's still I'm always trying to like fight
You're
that
special,
shit.
bro.
I'm trying to fight that shit.
Special, bro. You're special, bro.
Man, I'm trying to be honest as I can. I wouldn't want Kai doing it, but I recognize that's because of the way I've been programmed in this world. But if I'm looking at it, just like looking at it, they just want to be fucking.
Yeah.
She likes to fuck.
Yeah.
She likes to fuck in public places sometimes.
Yeah.
Or he likes to go to the club. Like, what? Fucking, when I was drunk in my 20s, my bar was like below low. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, what happened? It's like, I don't know, whatever.
Swimming.
What if I could have got $5,000 for that?
Yeah. 5,000.
No.
I never
obviously
set
don't wanna
out
do
to
that,
be
but I'm
a
just saying.
porn director or
More
own
power
a
to 'em
porn
if they can
studio or be where I'm at right now.
Do it, you know?
He looks like a pimp. Scotty D.
Ass on my thighs. Ass on my thighs. Ass on my thighs.
Just like shit like that, man. He just likes to get random.
We shoot mainly interracial reality.
But you know, it's just not
My
an
comments-
environment that I want to like be in for very long. I wouldn't mind like going to a party and like hanging out for an hour and getting drunk and leaving.
That's where I'm at.
You know what I mean? It's like, that was crazy, man. That was nuts.
Bro, that's how I felt.
I've been in that situation more than once in my life where I was just like, well, this is getting kind of crazy. I'm out, but I bet this is a good time. You know what I mean?
When I worked for Rev, I had to start brainwashing myself because I would always feel awkward around it. Even to the point I started paying for sex because I wanted to fit in. I started doing cocaine. I hated cocaine, but I did cocaine to fit in because it was the lifestyle. But it always made me feel a little awkward.
Yeah.
So it's just that weird nuance with it, you know?
Internet is mastering that. Is getting as many eyes on my content as possible.
I'm Lance Hart, and I'm a pornographer, a porn performer, and I help people create their own porn productions through my pervout.com project.
Pervout?
We help independent producers produce their porn, distribute their porn, market their porn, and at the end of the day, make a profit. I'm obsessed with growing the business, and I like to catch up with some people I know here.
We've just been throwing breadcrumbs all over the internet to get traffic for years, and it's working, and we're making money. But when we look at Google Analytics, we're missing like a lot.
Gotta run that back.
The competition to sell porn in a market full of free videos is fierce. Thousands of porn clips are uploaded daily to websites.
Like, who, in this day and age, who puts their credit card into the internet.
People do.
I know they do. I'm just saying who. Do you know anybody?
Never. I've never paid for porn.
But I'm saying, do you know anybody that like pays?
Yeah, Rev used to have. Rev was filthy rich, and he had mad bitches.
So rich people.
And he still. Well, this is what I'm saying about excess. This man had 3 bitches on call. Could fuck him anytime he wanted. Plus, he would fuck randoms. Go to the strip club, spend money, bring the strippers back and fuck them, and he still had a Bang Bros account that he would pay for. And he would probably surf on free porn too, but he would just pay for it because he could. Excess.
I've never met anybody that actually paid money. No, take that back. I knew one dude that did, and we laughed about it. I was like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why I did it. I got."
Some people become real fans, and they follow the girls and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I had that too. I had my favorites or whatever, but like to pay for it, that's so weird. Like you actually put your credit card.
Yo, that sounds like
in there. Like I've been getting it free my whole life. When it was
if you was a local porn star, I could support you. I come to your show.
Come to your show. Like what kind of show you got? Oh, yeah, like yeah, because they do. They have like I almost went to one of those one time, but not a local person. It was I forgot her name now, but whatever her name was, she was up at like Rachel's in your old.
Yo, that could be the next wave. Just mad local porn, like the girl you know next door.
I'm sure all the waves have been thought about in porn at this point. Like I said, there's a finite amount of ways you can do stuff to the human body, and they got it, and the internet's all full of it. Look at this guy.
Look at this kid, dog.
Somebody ordered a
this
pizza.
This one gets twice as many visitors as Hulu per month. Tube sites have slashed revenues for many porn producers. But these guys...
You got leaky pipes? I'm your plumber.
Tube sites are basically like the world's biggest porn marketing system that there is. So you work hand in hand with them.
A lot of people whine about them a lot. The argument is if they wouldn't have started all these free tube sites, then we'd still be making millions and millions of dollars. Whoever knows how the internet works is going to do way better than the people who make better porn.
The internet is the new medium, and these are the new pornographers.
Scott D. Capital D. Yo, man, I bet it's fun. I bet it's fun for like little go in and out, kind of just like, kind of, you know, I wouldn't want to be like in the industry, but like to know a guy who's going to have a party somewhere and then you just dip in on the party and be out. But like that lifestyle will kill you, man, right?
Well, this next clip I'm going to play is about the progression, right? So this girl that I was kind of making fun of in the first scene, she was working for those producers and stuff that they were interviewing. And what's crazy is that everybody tunes into these porns to see the girls, but really the girls get paid the less when it comes down to the whole production. They get paid up front for their scene, and then the director gets his cut or whatever. Sometimes the director owns his own site, and then they distribute the content, and they really make the money as the distributors. Right. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like record labels, you know? The artists get the less. So you're out there getting that vagina stabbed up, and you're getting less. So what they eventually do is evolve and start making the successful girls that have a fan base, right? They make their own websites, and that's I guess the most I respect out of these situations, because it's a real business and they have everything running, and you know, it's commendable. Instead of you're just not just getting fucked, you're taking the footage, selling it, producing it, you know, designing your website. That's not easy. That's not an easy thing. So this is a little bit about that.
Veronica's investing the money she's making into her own company. And she's planning to sell a special video that will be exclusive.
Huh?
That takes talent too.
Hell yeah.
On her website.
I'll bust my ass.
I can't even get up on the pole, like turn around.
For this Saturday. The level that I'm in, I do a lot of boy, girl, threesomes. Now, the next level, if you're ready for it and if you want to get paid more, it's more like anal. A lot of companies are offering me thousands and thousands of dollars for me to do my first anal scene for them. But I don't want to do it for any other company, but for my own. I think that will bring a lot of traffic to my site.
She saved the butt for her site. Smart woman. Smart,
Yo,
you
man,
see? You just when you think your butt, like how many people could just save their butt?
No, man. Nobody gives a fuck.
People save that for the wedding.
No one cares if my butt. Hey, man.
Yeah, maybe we need
Isn't that even a crazier thing in society that your girl saves her butt now for you? Be like, nah, listen, I'm not a virgin because, no one's a virgin nowadays. But I did save my butt for my husband.
It's like, oh, thanks. Sweet.
I saved my butt for you, honey.
I love it.
I'm anally not a virgin.
GoPro. So we can put in sync on
This would have been you, Thompson.
Big Head, B-Rod Productions. No, it would have been.
Diamond and see if she's
It'd be me and
to
some
work
girl
with us.
trying to she's like, okay, listen. And she's just sitting there trying to tell me why she's not going to give me my $500 because, listen, I saved my butt from my traffic. So we're just going to film that and we're going to be rich. Everybody's going to be rich. And I'll be like, what?
It's my first anal.
Oh, no.
Yo, that should be you should sell t-shirts too.
Oh, man.
Hi, mommy. How are you? I
Hey,
definitely want
Diamond
to do
Kitty,
a
I
lot
know
of
who that
rose
is.
petals floating in the water. Are you available to work this Saturday? What I want to do is an anal scene, girl scene, and I would love for you to work with me. What is your rate?
My rate for that is 1,200.
Oh wow! So $1,200 per shoot. Damn, you gotta fuck a lot to get rich. You'd have to fuck. How much would you have to fuck to make $100,000 if you got 1,200 a scene? What's that? 1,000 shoots? Damn. This still look pleasing to you as a good industry?
I didn't say that it was a good industry. I think at its core, it's like a good thing that this is happening. Like that these people feel this free, and there's
to make 100,000, you got to fuck 1,000 people.
Again, I don't want it for anybody that I know. I'm not saying that it's like
you think $100,000 is good enough a year for a porn star? You don't think they should make more?
I don't know. I don't think. I think I would think that it's an easier thing to do as far as like work goes as a talent.
Oh, so you get paid less then?
No, I just mean like I don't think
minimum
we should
wage?
be. No, I don't think we should get. It's what it's worth. It's what the person's worth. It's what this person's willing to pay you to do whatever you're going to do. If you want to get paid instead of $1,200 for a girl anal, and you get paid $5,000 for a 10-pound dildo stuffed up your ass, or whatever you want to like. Whatever jolly some weirdo in a whatever wants to do, I say it's a positive thing that legally, if you want to do it, if you want to do that and you want to take that money and you need that money or whatever, and you can just go do it because it's your body and it's your choice, I commend that. I think that's a positive thing all across the board. You know what I mean? I wouldn't ever want anybody that I know to stuff anything of that size up their ass because I don't
Save
think
the buff for the traffic.
I don't think that's good for you.
Save the buff for
But
the
God bless you,
traffic.
Diamond Kitty, $1,200. She's there. She's like $1,200. I'm there. And hey, there's a market for it, and people want to pay for it. And if you start making shit like that illegal, I think that's wrong. I think it's a good thing that it exists. Now it seems like a hard life. Again, it's a lot of fucking. But
Try
at
to
least it's
stretch it
simple,
out
I
to
guess.
seem
I
a
don't know.
little longer than we've been doing it before.
We're definitely gonna leave the anal to the end, so we don't get sore and we can perform
She said
longer.
leave the anal
I still haven't
till
set
the
up all
end.
time in the whole show
Bars.
information, but I'll do that tonight.
Bars.
I'll mail it to you. Okay. All right, for sure, mommy. All right, I'll see you soon. Bye.
I mean, shout out to her. She's booking the show.
That's what
She's
I'm
talking
saying.
to the director. She did her calisthenics this morning on the pole.
I want to launch my website with minimum 20 scenes. So this scene is definitely going to be one of them.
Starting a business is the American dream for Veronica, who says she grew up poor in Venezuela. She says just a few years ago, she was struggling to pay her bills, working at McDonald's, then Hooters.
That's when a regular client will start coming in and will sit always at my table. And he advised me that he had the hookup and I should be a porn star. I was like, wow, I can't, like my family would kill me. I kind of thought about it for a couple weeks. I told him like I want to be an extra in one of the movies. And I actually saw people having sex in front of me. And I was just in the background, but I didn't get paid like the main, and in the film. I wanted money and that's all I was looking for really, like a better pay. And I decided to be the main. I actually remember how much I got paid for my first scene, and that was $1,000. In a porn film, I make what I can make in 2 weeks, just in one day.
My name is Veronica, and I'm 19.
The first scene that I ever shot was for one of the biggest companies here in Miami. And everybody wanted to meet me. All the companies wanted to shoot who was that new girl. I stayed in Miami for 6 months, and I try to shoot for other companies that are based in Miami. There's going to be a time where you can't shoot anymore in Miami because you already shot for everybody. And after that, they fly you to LA and Vegas.
The average career span of a porn girl is 2 to 3 months.
Wow, damn.
In that 2 to 3 month span, yeah, you can get some money, you can come in, you can shoot for everybody. But if you're not a performer, if you're not really in this to be a porn star, that's where it stops.
There's a whole flock of new girls trying to get that same 100,000 that you're trying to get, and then you get cycled out. So then they go,
You're smart.
I'm gonna start my side.
3 months, you make 100 grand, you out.
$100,000, you can put it into something else, buy some real estate. Again,
a whole lot of memories.
More power to you, because it's just sex. It can get bad, but you can be in control of that shit too.
Oh, it can get bad. Just wait.
Of course it can.
But then you start your site, and what you encounter is some real cats online who really know how to make money with your content way better than you do. And by the time you figure out how to get money on it, it's old. The porn game right now is a tech game.
You go over that beat, one of those beats.
The real business happens on the
Get
computer,
money, bitch.
with your coders,
Get money,
with your
bitch.
developers, with your designers, with your social strategy. That's the business.
Sell that pussy, bitch.
The
Sell
girls,
that pussy,
they just
bitch.
happen to be the product.
More power to you. More power to you.
Did you want me tights for that one?
Ooh, Tampa.
But did you ever think it would come to this?
What is that?
That was a
penis pump?
Lance Hart says he assembled a dream team of the gay porn industry at a rented studio in Tampa to create videos.
Oh, so Tampa's the gay porn hub.
Pervout paid for their studio and any costumes they needed, their food for the week, their flights to get out.
In return, Pervout gets a cut of their sales.
Yikes.
Fantastic. I was born in Midland, Michigan. I grew up very comfortable and happy.
And I was born and raised Mormon.
Were you really? I grew up with a lot of Mormons.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you have a trampoline when you were growing up?
I did.
Yeah, that's a lot of Mormons. Yeah, lots of Mormons have trampolines. Porn's the only thing
Trampoline
I've
is
ever
like a
been able
sex
to be
thing.
passionate about.
A what?
Trampoline is like a sex thing.
Isn't
Look
that
that up
something
real
you
quick.
bounce on?
Look that up real quick. Just look it up real quick. This is what they said they did. He did with Mormons a lot. Trampoline as it pertains to sex. I think gay sex. Not that there's a specific type of trampoline. Oh Lord. Term.
Having awesome bouncy sex. Having awesome bouncing trampolining.
Where you extend the foreskin of your nutsack to form a trampoline, and you bounce your penis off it, creating the trampoline effect.
Yo, you learn shit on Fresh Produce. You will be
I
stimulated.
trampolined a lot with some Mormons.
You can make a bat out of your dick and balls.
I added up 38
A bat?
careers
Yeah.
before
Like
porn.
a
Bane
like a
is gonna
bat,
wedge
like
him-
Yeah, like a
the
flying bat.
flying-
It'll
I
look
thought
like
you
a
meant
bat.
like
Yeah.
like a
No, like a flying
baseball bat.
Maybe.
Well, I understood that, but like I don't understand what the balls how you create.
There was a movie. I forgot what movie.
It was called Waiting.
But they would like hit each other with
That was the highest level, or like the second level, or something like that.
the bat.
And if you go on, he's like, "Oh, it's so veiny."
Yo, it's such a good movie.
Me and squeeze my balls.
Squeeze my balls.
I was a project manager for a software company in Orlando. The economy kind of tanked. I got laid off.
2008.
And I needed to
Start
pay
making
rent.
porn to
It was
full
that
sale.
You start selling butt too, man. Butt's expensive in this shit.
I ended
Not
up
scared of
doing
you,
something
Bane.
Modeling. I sent him some
Scared of his
pictures.
dick.
He called me right away and said, "Hey, we'll fly to San Diego. We'll pay $1,800
So this
bucks."
is,
Where's
Tampa?
Batman at?
And I thought
He's gonna come in
that'll
later.
cover it.
Didn't.
So went out and did it. It was actually a really good experience.
Yeah, man. You like having sex, bro? This is for you. That's what I'm saying. Basketball players, football players. Some people are just good at stuff. This guy's good at butt stuff.
Yeah, let's hold.
Hold it. Hold it.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, he did it just right. My balls weren't twisted.
I never hit him right. I hit him like this.
Yeah, you did it great.
My balls weren't twisted, so we're good.
The first shoot I was in where I made money, they had
Gotta get
one
some,
camera
looks
guy
like
that
he's lubing
saw
up.
how simple it was, and that's when the seed got planted. Of one day I'm gonna own my own
slick
porn
footage.
business. Now it looks like I got eyeliner on, but maybe that's sexier.
I don't get why he was wearing the Robin costume, though.
He was Bane. The guy was. It's a Robin Hood. What do you mean? It's a porn. They wore costumes.
No, Robin and Batman. It wasn't Robin Hood.
What are you talking about? Bane and that's Robin. What are you talking about?
Robin was gay?
What are you talking about? It's a gay porn. Who cares if you? It's a porno. It doesn't. Everybody's gay and straight. You know what I mean? It's a porno. It's cool.
Lance launched his
I'm
company 2
confused.
years ago.
You're not supposed.
to
What are you
help
talking about?
models
Confused.
produce, shoot,
It was a
and
gay
distribute
porn.
their
I
videos.
get it was a gay porn, but why was he dressed as Robin? Where was the Batman character?
He was somewhere else. The Bane character was there, and he was fucking Robin.
Oh, that was Bane?
Yeah, the guy with the mask.
Nah, that didn't look like Bane.
Bet you $5,000 that was Bane.
Hey, go.
His friend.
Because if you rewind back, he says, "Bane, I'm not
I'm
scared
good.
of you."
I rewind it back. We get it.
And porn star Jesse Coulter brings in new talent.
Studios are failing. Sites are failing. Models aren't getting booked as regularly as they were. Why pay me $1,400 when they can pay this guy over here $500? And he looks better, and he's in better shape. He's got what I have and more.
Yeah, man. That's the way it goes, bro.
Yeah, that's another like downside to the porn industry is that you only have. It's kind of like sports. You only have a certain time. Like nobody. I mean, even though there is like grandma porn, it's really popular in Germany. Yeah, I don't know. They're like into that thing in Germany, like fucking your old grandma.
Grandmas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like grandmas.
MILFs. Remember the word MILF when it popped off during American Pie? That became a whole like thing in itself. So this is a documentary that everybody should watch on Netflix. I'm going to play the trailer, and then I'm going to play the creator. And this is about a lot of the girls that get sucked into the industry as young, and especially in Miami, like a lot of the previous content was saying, Miami's hub is for amateur porn. So they really like the younger girls. They like the whole casting couch shit. Remember Bang Bus?
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to play, after this, we're going to play the story of Bang Bus.
Well, hello there, you sexy thing. You must know the password, right? Every day, a new girl turns 18. Free flight to...
You seen the documentary?
I've seen this, yeah.
Found
No,
an
I
ad on
haven't seen it.
Craigslist. It was under TV shows and radio jobs.
sorry, I couldn't
sent
finish
them
it
these two pictures because I didn't know
part
what they
of it.
wanted
I was like, I
exactly.
didn't watch
It didn't hit me until I got on the plane.
I only work with amateur girls brand new to the industry, usually like 18 to 21. I call them teeny boppers.
What's up, everyone? This is my first find. I'm an upcoming porn star, so please follow me.
A lot of them know it's a trap, but the money's there in their face right now, cash. They take it.
They don't care about who you actually are. I'm trying to be famous, so gotta do what you gotta do.
The shelf life of a girl, best case scenario, a year tops.
I got offered to do 2 shoots for $2,500.
And?
Bondage. You look so awesome. God, look at your ass, bro. Oh, today was just so horrible, though. Oh, you still got it done. Still got it done.
I don't have anything more to give.
That last part, I hated. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I could tell him no.
Just can't be good for you to have sex that much with that many different people. Ugh.
So weird, but that's my job.
They all have the same stories. My parents don't know. I hope they never find out. Just try to tell them, like, your parents are gonna find out. More and more and more and more girls are doing it. It's gone mainstream.
Yeah, so I couldn't finish that.
What was it about, basically?
Exactly what this thing is saying. It was mostly the like the Craigslist girls, and they would come in, they live in a house, they do live shows, they do cams, or they went and did like random local, like the guy with the Black and Mild, he was one of the performers, and there were a couple other guys that were like performers that were just part of that industry, and it was a grind. You know, it showed how much it wasn't all like the Lisa Ann's and the whoever that are like popular that do well.
You think they should move the porn age up to like 25?
Well, maybe, but why?
Just because seeing, like, I don't really feel that bad for like the gay dudes that look a little older, or some of the, maybe even that Venezuelan girl, she looked a little older, but these young girls, I kind of felt bad because I could
sorry, go ahead.
When you're 18 years old, to me, not everybody's fully mature. There's a lot of older acting women 18 that I've maybe met that I've been like, oh damn, you act a little older than your age. But for the majority, I don't think they've reached a maturity level, and I think they're being manipulated with this money and shit. And like the guy kept saying, like, it just feels like they're preying. It's like a mill of these young girls. They're not telling their parents. It just doesn't feel right to me at that age. That's why I think it should be maybe moved up to 25.
Maybe there's an argument for it, for sure. I don't want to be like nah, but you know, that's that gray area, man. With all of that shit, drinking and just, you know, you're gonna lose some people in that. You just are, because to your point, there's 18-year-olds that can make it through that shit completely fine.
That's true.
Your Eves, your fucking Cardi B's, your
Jenna Jameson.
Nah, she didn't quite make it through all the way fine. She's like, I think she's addicted to pills right now.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we'll even say her because she got a whole business, you know, website. You know, Lisa Ann's a good one who kind of is crossing over in a way. There's several names where, you know, people make it through fine, but you know, there's a lot that don't, because to this that Hot Girls Wanted thing showed. I was about to say, you feel bad because of the music cues. You know, you feel bad because of the way the trailer like played your emotion strings. But
I felt bad when I heard her say, "Damn, I didn't know how to tell the guy no," and he did that to me.
Yeah, those like just the excerpt out of like her life in that situation. But who's to say when she was getting on the plane or when she's completely fine in moments.
Oh, because she knew she was gonna make that money.
Yeah, and that's where the gray area lies. We're saying that she's old enough to make that choice. You're saying if you wait 6 years or 5 years or 7 years, then she'll be further along in her life as a person and be able to like make a better choice than being fresh out of high school. And I guess, yeah, there's a big argument for that. But I was going to say, I had to stop watching when the girl they kept showing at the beginning developed some sort of cyst and start talking about it because of how much sex she was having. And it was like a grapefruit size thing.
Oh my God.
It had to be like drained or something.
Oh.
That's when I was like, well, it's enough for me, Rashida Jones. Thanks for making this. And I'm assuming is why they wanted to make it so like whatever. They didn't show it that I remember, but they just talking about it and like the sex she was having and the like little mattress she was living on, and just like the dudes are like, yeah, I gave it $1,200 to come over here. And anyway. It's good.
It's good.
It's good. It's good.
It's a good thing this is happening.
It's a good doc.
Rashida, let us know how good this shit is.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Couric. There's a famous line from the Broadway musical Avenue Q. The internet is for porn. Maybe not exactly, but listen to this. More people visit porn sites online than Netflix, Amazon, and Twitter combined.
That's an epidemic.
And a new documentary called Hot Girls Wanted explores the perils and pitfalls of the amateur porn industry and how dangerous it can be for young women. It's produced by Rashida Jones. You probably know her from shows like The Office and Parks and Recreation. She is also a writer and musician, and I'm a big fan. Rashida, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So let's talk, first of all, about amateur porn. When you say amateur porn, what is it exactly?
It's kind of a misleading term because it's made to make the people feel like they're watching people who are not a part of the porn world. But the truth is, it's cast, it's lit, it's scripted.
It's lit.
And most of the young girls who go into amateur porn are very young because it makes it seem like they might just be like the girl next door.
Why are people so attracted to this faux amateur approach?
The truth is, teen is the most searched word in porn, so it's of interest to a lot of men.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and there is an aspect of
I'll go with you're right as far as like
the young shit.
Yeah, the age being higher, and specific like marketing toward the word teen and searching for teen.
I was on the fence until I started watching a little bit of this. And
I watched the documentary too. The documentary didn't change me over because they literally came over and they did the shit. But I think you should just not be able to until you're older.
Yeah.
Until you're older than 18.
Yeah, I think across the board, guns, everything. 25, maybe 21. I don't know. Older.
Kind of catching a young girl off guard and, you know, maybe even doing things that she doesn't want them to do that is titillating. I can't understand or explain the psychology behind it. My concern is that, you know, porn is both entertainment, adult entertainment, and also an educational tool for young kids. I mean, the average age to watch your first porn is 11. So it's not just about people enjoying it like in the comfort of their own home.
And stopped it because I wasn't ready for what I saw.
I watched my first porn at 10.
Can't remember exactly what my age was, but I remember seeing real porn, not just like soft Jenny McCarthy and Playboy porn. And I was like, I don't want to watch this yet.
I remember my mom's friend Carrie gave me my first porn. Like, watch this.
Watch this.
Whoa, I was blown away. Like, I knew about sex.
You were blown away?
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
Innuendo.
Home with their wives or whatever they're doing in their private lives. It's actually teaching people how to feel about sex, and that's my concern.
How big a business has this become?
It's huge. I mean, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. It's big, and it's kind of here to stay. So it's not really about whether or not you're anti or pro porn. Like, it's a real part of our reality now.
And why has it become so popular, do you think? Why is there this explosion of pornography?
I think, listen, I think humans are very sexual. I think we're fascinated by naked bodies. We're fascinated by our own sexuality. But I think there's also this, like, loophole. The internet has very little regulation, and porn has very little regulation. So it's just a supply-demand situation. Like, people want it, people can get it. We live in the capitalistic, democratic society, so we get what we want, basically.
What about the people who are controlling this industry? There's a young man in the documentary who said he went from being a dishwasher at Outback Steakhouse, and now...
Come on, Katie.
So he was a dishwasher at Outback, and now he is fucking the shit out of your little sister.
Now he is a manager or an agent for amateur porn and is making tons of money. So who are the people behind the scenes controlling this new aspect of the business?
You know, the people who actually run the porn sites are understandably elusive. They're hard to get to because we tried with this movie. Riley, who's the agent in the movie, really, he does make money, but he's just servicing a much larger industry with people who make a ton more money than he does. But the truth is, at the very, very bottom of the food chain are the girls in this movie who are 18-year-old girls who move to Miami for the promise of fame and glamour and success, and they make the least amount of money than anybody involved in the whole business.
So if they made more money, would it be better or fine?
Well, I've been very vocal.
That's a good argument. If you could get 100,000,
same argument,
50,000 per, like if it was like an acting role and shit.
The same argument gets made for basketball players, football players.
Yeah, boxing and shit.
The cattle should make more money, should pay me more money.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be putting myself in harm's way, if I'm going to get my knee turned away the wrong way, if I get concussed, or if I get concussed, or if I get a giant cyst on my vagina that it needs to be drained, I should be compensated.
Or constipated. So, this is, of course, I want to show all sides of the porn industry. I want to say that I was a big fan, and now that I've gotten a little older, I kind of sound like an idiot. Or maybe not. Maybe that's just maturity and evolution. But I just think that, yeah, there needs to be a little more regulation. There needs to be a little more protection. Let people be free. Nothing should be illegal. You know what I mean? That won't kill nobody or seriously hurt. You know what I mean? Same argument with drugs and shit. I think it's all really like a mental thing. You know what I mean? And just like every spectrum of mentality, like you said, I wouldn't want my kids to do that. There are parents out there that are totally cool with a big nut on your daughter's face.
You know how weird it is when somebody is like accepting an award for best BJ and they talk about their parent like being
there,
seeing it or something like that?
I could never, ever in my, like, sex is one thing, but there's certain degrading things that they do in porn that I could never see someone I loved. Like, damn, that would just like, why? Like, you know what I mean? So this is a Tampa mother and daughter duel.
Nice.
They make porns together. They technically don't touch, but they do fuck dudes together in the porn.
In the same room.
They get throw fuck together. Two dudes.
But they don't touch each other.
They don't touch each other. But they have sex together. I can't show this on YouTube, but I can show an interview of them.
Well, we are here with Jessica and Monica Sexton. Jessica and Monica, say hey to all the guys out there.
Hi, guys.
Now, guys
Tampa.
out there that are watching this, I know you're saying, well, this looks like two hot ladies.
That's not what I'm thinking.
We're going to have a good scene, but this scene has a slightly different twist to it. Monica, why don't you tell us what's so different about this shoot?
Well, maybe because that's my mom. That might be why.
Just maybe, might be why.
A little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit different, perhaps. And Jessica, this is your daughter Monica here, right with you.
This is my daughter with me, absolutely.
And you guys are actually going to be doing a scene with several guys here together today.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you know, I mean, a lot of mother and daughter teams, they bond over shopping and makeup and stuff like that. You've chosen you've chosen a slightly different way of doing that. You know, and that's cool. And I was telling you before the camera started rolling that I think that it speaks to the fact that you must have a very open and loving and supportive relationship that you would actually do something like this together.
She definitely.
Who got into the business first?
Super comfortable.
And how did you get in? How did you get into the business, Mona?
Well, long story short, I was a phone actress. So one of my customers through the phone told me about it, and how to get into it and everything. So I did.
And did you start as a dancer or something, or were you?
I kind of dove in head first.
Okay.
Head first.
Within the first week, I'd already done one shoot and danced as well. So.
Wow. So when you talk about the adult industry and diving in head first, that really has a different meaning, doesn't it?
You guys
lame, sir.
Actually, it does.
Now, you haven't been doing shoots for very long, though. I mean, it's fairly new. And how did you tell Mom that you were involved in the industry or the business?
Well, I didn't really tell her. She kind of knew the whole way because I've just never kept anything from her really at all ever.
Well, that's beautiful.
She tells me everything.
So
all the gory details.
Yeah, and so Jessica, I mean, what was your reaction when she told you that she was getting involved in the business?
I wanted to support whatever it is that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And, and if that's what you want to do, then I'm right behind her.
Mm-hmm.
She enjoys it, and
She's right behind her.
A lot of fun, and
holding her hair
we
back.
travel around, and we have a great time.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic. Now, were there any concerns as a mother that you had about her becoming involved in the industry?
No, not really.
No?
None. None that
Yo,
I-
but Monica was shaking her head a little bit.
I was
Not
fine
one?
with it, and then she got me started in it.
No
too.
concern.
That's fantastic. We might have to call this shoot family affair or something. I don't know. That might be the most appropriate. I'm thinking of all kinds of all kinds of titles or whatever. So, well, that's fantastic. And this is you've done some individual shoots, each of you, not too many, but you've done some individual scenes. But this is actually going to be your inaugural shoot on camera together, mother and daughter in a scene together. How does that feel?
Yay! We're excited. We're excited because everything that we do, we have fun, don't we? And so we know this is going to be fun.
And
wish you guys could see Thompson's eyes right now.
Yo, this is all types of weird,
together.
bro.
I mean, who brought it up to the other one first?
Actually, it was your idea, wasn't it?
I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest. But I don't know. I guess I just figured, hell, why don't we do it together instead of apart? And I'm sure it has to be liked. Somewhat. So.
I mean, tell me honestly, Monica. I mean, is it going to feel funny at all doing this in front of your mother?
No.
No.
We've never done this, but we've always been extremely close. This is where I really didn't care what she saw. She'd walk in and be playing with myself. She'd go get something out of my dresser and then walk back out again, and I'd be like, okay, just lock the door.
So this is a real couple. Well, not a couple, but a mother and daughter duel from Tampa. That was their first interview and their first scene, but they have a lot of content online. Why did that make you feel awkward?
I think it's obvious why that would make me feel awkward.
But it's fucking porn. I mean, this is more power to them, right?
No, this is a little different.
Yeah?
It just is. It's a mother and daughter.
What makes
having
it different?
sex with the guy in the same room together. She used to walk in on her playing with herself, and then she'd keep it moving.
I think it's like incest a little bit.
I mean, you're tiptoeing that line for sure. You are definitely tiptoeing that line.
So this is not okay.
It's not illegal.
But it makes you feel weirder than regular porn.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. 100%.
I thought the same thing.
odd.
And when I started doing it's like, damn, like, where does this stop? Like, what if in the future it's just cool? Like, we're so desensitized because of society's things like pornography.
Pornography.
Pornography, it starts to be tainted. You know what I mean?
Tainted. Gucci'd. No, it's super weird, man. But I don't think it's ever going to be socially. I think if we're going to accept people doing porn, there's going to be a whole nother set of time when we accept certain types of porn. At a certain point, people are going to be fine with a woman getting gangbanged and it not even being like odd.
What do you think about like brutality porn? Like
when you're slapping people around and stuff?
Like when girls especially are getting their ass beat.
There's people that get sexual gratification from that. It's called sadomasochism. It's BDSM, and people like that. They get actual pleasure out of it.
Have you ever heard of Bruno Dickums?
No, but I love that name.
So Bruno is a legendary porn star from Miami that has a house that a lot of these rappers like XXX, Smoke Perp, Lil Pump, a lot of the favorite rappers.
We talked about him in the other one.
He has he's known as a porn star, but he's really into like doing crazy shit. That's like his genre of porn is
BDSM and all that.
Crazy beat. So this is some of his Instagram videos. I couldn't get all of them because he's been like canceled from Twitter temporarily from all the crazy shit. But he does shit like this.
Oh, the bottle cap challenge, but he's kicking her in the face.
And then, so this was another one where he's outside. He literally throws bitches off the roof.
We throwing bitches off the roof.
Into water? Is that into water?
Huh?
Is that he threw her in the water?
He threw her off the roof. There was this other video that I can't find that has a little more clear. Mm-hmm. Just take my word for it. That's his thing on Twitter lately because he's always trying to one-up himself about doing crazy shit. I've seen this guy pee on girls on Twitter, but lately he literally, like, if they're not giving him good enough head, he throws them off his roof. He pushes them off.
Wow. And they know this and they go up to roofs with this guy?
Well, this is one of the girls that he's, like, involved with. I'm gonna have to blur out that side. And she's really into being like his bitch. Literally, I know you don't like me saying bitch, but she likes to be called that.
Get down to business faster with Blue Chew chewable tablets. Blue Chew has the same active.
Get yourself some.
Or go vegan.
Media here, you already know what it is. About to get into a new scene. We got two performers here. Y'all want to introduce yourself?
I'm Bruno Dickens.
And I'm Marilyn Manson.
We're Bruno Dickens and Marilyn Manson. Alright, word. So, Bruno, how long you been doing porn?
Wow. It's gonna be my second scene.
Your second scene?
Like, shit, I started in 2008, so I'm already lost track.
Like almost 10 years?
Yeah, 10
years. Yeah, word. How many scenes you think you've done? Well over 100, lost track?
Like 2,000 something.
2,000 something? Word, man.
Yeah.
Putting a lot of work. So, how'd you get started in this shit, dude?
Shit, some guy, this guy, he's pretty well known in South Florida for recruiting male talent. So he goes out to the clubs or events. And he scouted guys like Brick Danger, J Mac, like a lot of the big male talents that came out of Miami. He scouted me at the club, and he was like, "You want to shoot for a girl?"
So you in the club, and a dude comes up to you like,
"Yeah." He's like, "You got this look. You got the look." And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Shit."
What was the look at the time?
I mean, they was looking for like amateur guys, you know, young, looking, in shape. When you want to know that, he was like, he usually has to get like the pictures first, and then once he got the pictures, he's like, "All right, you good." At that time, they were shooting a lot of like brand new guys because they're shooting like sites where it would be like porn star chicks, you know, invading like a bunch of dudes at work or some shit, you know what I'm saying? So like, there was definitely casting a bunch of new guys. And, like, it's not as easy as it looks as far as like being a male.
She's just getting high as a motherfucker.
Basically, one of those downs was like a very small circle.
So that first scene that you ended up doing was, were you nervous that first time?
Hell yeah, man. If you see my first scene, it's not the same performer that you see now. It's not. Definitely. I got fucked. I just laid there and let them do their thing.
You remember the first chick?
It was 5 chicks. So it was like that kind of the scenario I was explaining, where it's like porn star chicks, like grouping them, invading a group of guys.
Yeah. Fuck Team 5.
He's got a leash on her.
Yeah. That was for Bang Bros. And it was like, damn, I remember that there was big names at that time. 10 years ago, it was like Savannah Stern, Angelina Valentine, or something like that.
You got to give it up to homie. 10 years in the business is not easy.
Do guys last longer than girls?
Yeah.
Huh?
Do guys last longer than girls?
I don't think so.
For a while, I was just shooting for Bang Bros for like a few months, and that worked out.
What about you, Marilyn? How long have you been doing porn?
I've been doing porn for a year and a half.
Year and a half?
The reason why I started porn is actually him.
Yeah. So I recruit too.
Came to
So
his
I find
house.
girls.
Oh, so he recruited you?
Yeah.
Alright, where?
Yeah.
So you like knew her already and?
No, we had actually just met.
Well, we had mutual friends, and there was a lot of guys already trying to push her on me, like, yo.
I was thinking about it. As soon as I turned 18,
and I was like, yeah, sure, bring her by. And then it took like one girl to bring her by, and she didn't leave the first day. She like walked to my house.
Shut up.
So how many scenes you think you've done so far, man?
According to X videos, 155 scenes.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good.
And it's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty cool.
It's very straightforward.
Cool.
It's very interesting kind of profession.
Cool. So then when you did
She's
that
just
first
stoned as
scene,
shit.
I've seen him piss all over her mouth on Twitter.
You seen her piss on her mouth?
He pissed all over her face
How
and
did
mouth.
She pee on her own mouth. Him on her. Okay.
Because that's what I'm saying. He tries to one up himself on Twitter, and he's always doing this crazy shit.
And maybe she likes it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
she's obviously having a good time with the collar on.
Exactly what my parents didn't want me to do. And the most outrageous possible way, like just completely naked, taking pictures. Like I didn't even know what I was doing. My first scene, it was Naughty America with Sean Lawless, and I had no idea what the fuck I was doing.
She's about to take her clothes off right now.
Show my tits, and I was like, oh, you like that?
Well, whoa.
you're gonna have to blur that out.
Yeah, you got some nice tits. How big are they?
What?
What's the cup size on your tits? 'Cause you got some.
Oh yes, a lot of people ask.
Yeah.
It's actually 32D.
32D.
Yes.
Just trying to smoke again.
They look bigger than that. Yeah, that's what caught my eye. I was like, all right, you ready to shoot?
I think it's such a small chick.
Yeah, when I met her, I was like, I saw too.
They might just come
I
out.
ask you about your name a lot. How you come up with the name?
How do you come up with somebody else's name?
I just really like the guy's music.
Duh.
It's also kind of the whole entire outlook that I'm trying to bring in porn. I'm trying to have this whole like very rocker vibe and very like dark and very kinky and very fetish kind of area. I'm trying to like open up this dark music type vibe into porn.
Word. That's dope. So if you met Marilyn, have you ever met Marilyn?
No, but I've been meeting so many people lately and just scenes that I do, and they happen to like grow up with the guy and like have all sorts of stories about him, and I just hear like all these really one-on-one experience stories.
So she's from Florida too, or not?
And like I just would love to meet
He does all his shit like Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Like I said, he has this mansion where the bitches just come, the rappers come. He's even got a porn series that he does off his own website called Groupie Lust, where he basically, you ever heard of Slump God? So he's got a video where like Slump God's just chilling and he's fucking a bitch while Slump God's there, and then Slump God stops rapping. He got Denzel Curry in one, XXX. And they're just, that's what it's called, Groupie Lust.
So they're rapping while he's fucking?
Some of them have different, like one with Fat Nick and Puya. They're at a mansion, and the girls just show up, and like he convinces the girls to come upstairs, and he fucks both of them upstairs. But the whole vibe is that the girls show up to chill with the rappers, and he ends up fucking them. So it's called Groupie Lust.
I see.
But this guy's really well known in the rap community for his house parties, kind of like Mike Busey up here in Orlando. But this guy, and he, you know, some people say like he you know, he also like, I don't want to say he's like a pimp, but he's like a manager. He like brings the girls over, gets them jobs and shit. The crazy thing is that I'm like, fuck, like he like trashes these girls. Like there's pictures of, and he got suspended from Twitter, so I can't show you right now. But check him out, Bruno Dickham. Shout out to you, bro. You are the King Savage. Like he's got girls in dog kennels, and he makes them sleep in the dog kennels. He like, I told you, pissed on this girl. He throws bitches off the roof. He just does crazy shit, and I think it's just become like his lane because he seems like a nice dude off the bat.
I don't know. Does he seem like a nice dude?
There's a couple other interviews because this shit's getting a little long-winded, so I'm not gonna play too much. But he seems like a regular nice dude. You know what I mean? And a lot of the rappers look up to him and shit. And I haven't really heard anything negative. There is like one porn star.
You just said like 4 negative things.
I mean, like girls complaining about it. Like you're saying, if they're into it,
yeah.
If they're into it, like it's choose what you want.
No, yeah, for sure.
Free.
It's still still like a negative thing though, even if they like the negative thing.
What's negative about it? That he's beating
pissing
girls?
on them, throwing them off of a roof,
doing the kick.
You know, those are the bottle cap challenge. Even if she likes it, it's still like a negative thing. Just saying. It's literally
so
a negative
brutality
thing.
is
No, I didn't say it wasn't allowed or anything like that. I'm just saying it's a negative thing. You said I haven't heard anything negative. Yeah. It's like,
but why do
negative.
people look up to dudes like that? Why do they?
Because there's a lane for it. There's people that like that shit.
It makes me laugh because I'm just
yo,
like, this is so fucked up. This is happening right now.
Like, oh God, I don't know if it doesn't make me. I guess I laugh at some of it. Some of that shit's funny. And some of it's just like, oh God.
Yo, if you see the white girl he threw off and then he came back, he's like, oh, you forgot your sandals.
So he just threw her onto the ground?
The whole thing is he brings them up to the roof to like suck his dick.
What type of roof though? What's on the bottom?
Like a house. It's like a house. It's not that, but they're not going to die.
10 feet?
Yeah, it's like the roof of your house. Imagine getting thrown off the roof of your house.
I fell off the roof of my house.
And you survived, but imagine getting pushed off. Though. Imagine getting pushed. How'd you fall off the roof?
The hurricane come and there's a big tree limb, and I went to pull it, but I was on the wrong side of it and starts to slide off. So it's like pushing me.
And
so
you went boom, boom, boom.
I had to decide, like in the moment, am I going to try to hang off the side or am I just going to go with it? So I decided to go with it, and I sort of sat on my butt and slid off feet first. And when I hit the ground, I just did a tuck and roll.
So you were all right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But I had my wits about me. I made a choice. It was like, how am I going to do this?
This guy threw her off.
I didn't get thrown off anything.
And then grabbed her sandals like, oh, you forgot your sandals, bitch.
That was nice of them. So nice of them.
Yo, the crazy spectrum, and Florida has got to take the cake for
South Florida
producing
seems like
crazy people. Just Florida produces crazy
pills.
People. There's this other guy from Tampa named Tampa Bukkake. And all he does is
Bukkake.
So it's just girls that he gets from the strip club in Tampa, and he lines up like 10 dudes, and they all bust on this girl's face, and that's the whole. Then there's another guy from Tampa named Dixie, and all he does is like incest porn. So it's like these younger girls fucking these older women and him. So Florida produces some nasty ass shit across the board.
The internet loves it.
It's underground though.
Yeah.
It's not as professional as Cali porn, but there's like an underground vibe to it that the aesthetics that people enjoy. You remember Bang Bus? I'm gonna play this last because I got a shout out to Bang Bus.
Yeah, Preston.
But
do we know why he did his handshake like that?
No, we don't. This is an article from the Miami Times just explaining it. If you guys have never seen Bang Bus, this came out when I was just fresh out of high school, and I really thought it was these guys driving around in a van, picking up random girls and having fucked some dude in the van and then throwing them out. Later on, I found out that it was all staged, but I found it on like those
wrestling,
LimeWare,
Napster.
Yeah, and I would download like that, and I'd be like, "What the fuck is this?" So shout out to Bang Bros.
Bang Bros was fun.
Bang Bus, you are the child. Satan's child, and you created monsters. Shout out to you.
From rabbitsreviews.com. The story of... For every generation of porn fan, there are those movies and performers that define their era. In the 70s, it was Kay Parker, Marilyn
70s.
Chambers, and Debbie Does Dallas. For the 80s, it's John Holmes, Vanessa Del Rio and Tracy I Love You, while Jenna Jameson, Asia Carrera, and Janine shaped the 90s.
Carrera.
For those who came of age during the explosion of the internet in the 00s, there is one site that stands above all others, Bang Bros Network. And the site built its storied history and legendary content involving, of all things, a van. The story of Bang Bus is interesting. While it isn't the first porn site by any means, there is a clear line dividing internet porn before Bang Bus and internet porn after it. Looking at it now, it doesn't look particularly original or groundbreaking, but that's because almost every element of their scenes have been copied and imitated by many sites to this day. It is the reality porn site, the standard by which we compare all others, whether we realize it or not. Launched in the fall of 2001, Bang Bus follows the adventures of 3 guys in their 20s, a cameraman, a driver, and a friend, driving around the city of Miami in a van looking to entice a woman or two inside to discuss a documentary film they're making about the area.
Yeah.
Once a woman enters the van, they interview and flirt with her before offering her cash to remove an article of clothing.
Yep.
One thing leads to another and the friend ends up having sex with the woman as the van drives through the city, citizens on the sidewalk blissfully unaware due to the tinted windows that there's hardcore sucking and fucking mere feet from where they stand. After the big finish, the scenes end with the guys coaxing the woman out of the van and then driving off without her. There are many keys to the site's overwhelming success, but the most pivotal was the feeling of reality. It felt real. The crew hit upon a formula that compelled porn fans at the time to wonder about its legitimacy. Are these people actually fucking random strangers they meet? Interestingly enough, a similar question now gets asked about Backroom Casting Couch, the popular and influential casting site that has taken some of its cues from Bang Bus. The internet was still new in 2001 to 2002 and there were many more households that didn't have access than did. As such, the site became a rumor of sorts, a story passed between friends about this site that has videos of guys picking up random women off the street and fucking them. Peer-to-peer file sharing was also in its infancy and many people who came across scenes out of context from the site felt they were watching some stolen videotape of a bunch of horny frat guys getting into some XXX fun. The scenes employed the gonzo technique popularized by Seymour Butts in the 90s with his line
Seymour
of films.
Butts.
This means long, uninterrupted shots with a sometimes shaky video camera with almost no cuts. Practically everything, from casual chit-chat to angry reactions from female passengers to the friend's initial inability to get an erection, was left in as scenes would typically last 40 minutes to an hour each. Early scenes would also show sometimes as much as 10 to 15 minutes of several failed attempts to get women in the van to really drive home the presentation that they're trying hard to find some pussy. Another element to its success was the camaraderie between the guys. Dudes driving around, making fun of each other and trying to get laid is a scenario most men from the ages of 16 and over can relate to, and Bang Bus capitalized on this.
Yeah, man.
They would occasionally look into the camera when a woman would take off her top, or during the sex itself, as if to say, "Can you fucking believe this?" or "This is fucking awesome." They had in-jokes amongst themselves that viewers would cue in on after seeing several scenes. The viewer becomes a part of the group and over time learn the names and quirks of many of the Bang Bus riders, such as Ugly the Driver or Dirty Sanchez, the smart ass with all of the questions and the open finger handshake. There was also Preston, the sly talker with the preppy voice who would drive or film, and Ramon, the laid-back Latino with the super long cock. The overwhelming popularity of the site and questions of its legality brought with it media attention. And though it was confirmed in 2004 by news reports that, like professional wrestling, everything you were seeing was staged and not as real as it's presented, it didn't slow down the bus one bit. By that point, it didn't matter. Pornography is fantasy. It felt real, and for fappers that's all that mattered. From there, the empire expanded. Many of their next sites focused on curvaceous women, such as Boob Squad, Ass Parade, Big Tits Round Asses, and Mom's Anal Adventure. They scheduled their updates for each site on specific days of the week, so there was always a new trailer to view Monday through Friday. To house all of these sites under one roof, the Bang Bros Network was created. The themes of the sites typically focus on a broad, singular niche, be it Latinos, MILFs, or handjobs, and feature performers who typify or excel in that niche. It's a simple formula that has worked very well.
Minute and a half.
Many of the performers who would become some of the bigger names of the past 2 decades, including Maria Moore, Daphne Rosen, Kiki O'Dare, Laura Lyon, Saskia, Monique Fuentes, Avi Scott, and bona fide legends such as Samantha 3HG received some of their biggest exposure at the time appearing on their sites. And while many of these sites, including Big Mouthfuls and Tug Jobs, established their own distinct fan base and helped strengthen the Bang Bros network as a whole, none of them approach the influence or cultural cash of Bang Bus. One only needs to look around the internet porn landscape to see Bang Bus and the Bang Bros network imprint everywhere. By blurring the line between reality and fantasy, they created a feeling of plausibility that hooked millions of fans and countless imitators. Cars, taxis, actual buses, you pick the mode of transportation and there has probably been a site dedicated to fucking women inside it. Captain Stabbin, from the Reality Kings network, would fuck his latest female conquest on his boat and then throw them into the ocean along with a lifesaver. The network that would become known as Reality Kings launched not long after Bang Bus with their own cast of idiosyncratic porn characters including the aforementioned Captain Stabin and the immortal MILF Hunter and helped turn Miami into the porn capital of the East Coast. But that's another story for another time.
Shout out to Bang Bus. You guys are pioneers.
Good job, Preston.
Appreciate all the things you guys have done for the porn community
in South Florida.
You guys
tricked me into thinking that you guys were just picking up girls.
Yeah.
And then made me want to be a random guy walking around.
Yeah, convinced me that I could just fuck random bitches in a bus. Never happened, though. But I did bring some home.
Never did happen. But I did, as well.
Well, that was the porn episode.
Porn in Florida. I feel like we could have went on for days.
Yeah, well, let's
go round and round.
We did almost 2 hours.
It's too long to dedicate to porn.
It's a lot of porn.
I think it's against the recommendations that we made. Try to keep it under once a week, okay, guys? Once a week. And the rest of the time, just keep it toward
if your penis starts to chafe,
actual living women.
Stop jerking off if your penis starts to chafe, all right?
Or don't use porn.
Yeah. Just become a Christian, all right?
Don't do that.
Connect to God.
Don't do that.
All right?
I'm not
Get rid of lust and sin from your life and resurrect yourself. Become a born-again Christian.
Don't pay for porn. What are you doing? Be an adult. Let's go.
Yo, man. Make love to your wife. I'm Phraydoe Peans.
Make love to your wife or husband or boyfriend or girlfriend. And if you don't have one, go out and find a person before you dedicate too long to just ones and zeros.
Yeah. Or just be like Kimberly and
don't be like Kimberly. She's not a real thing.
Peace, y'all.
Later.